So this one is for the ex-cons. The face you're looking at has travelled around about thousands of different people, and along the way you meet the ex-cons, okay, and lots of people of very different varieties. And the ex, and so this is trigger warning for them and for the other people, okay. So ex-con stories don't get told very often. There might be some ex-cons who do a YouTube channel to talk about if there's gang cultures or whatever inside the prison system or not. Sometimes those people are putting their neck on the line a little bit when they do. It's taken a bit of effort for them to do that. They might have changed their name. We don't know. Depends on their circumstance. Sometimes it's not that drastic at all. And either way, what ex-cons would tell you is they're in an and almost right assume just by hearing them talk, and they've been in an environment for how many weeks, months, or years where there was like a lot of people watching their movements. They shared a cell with someone else, and therefore didn't have any privacy. Instead of shower, didn't have any privacy. So the one thing that it's not just their freedom that's taken away, is their privacy. So you imagine with blokes, okay. Now every bloke is different, but they need to pull off, okay. Every week or so, they might need to operate the release valve, and you can imagine those poor bastards in a sea got 100 people piled high. That isn't really comfortable or possible for those individuals in that space, okay? And other ex-cons, they don't typically talk about that particular aspect of the prison experience. However, it is potentially associated with what's called prison rape phenomena, okay? So in prison, okay, not everyone's there because they raped someone on the outside. Sometimes they're there because they drove a car too fast or they stole a car. They're not always there because they're super bad people. Sometimes they was poor people, and sometimes they was stupid people, and sometimes they was stupid poor people, and sometimes they was drunk stupid poor people. Okay, they're not necessarily violent people, but they'll still get a couple of months in there or whatever, for doing the stupid poor drunk thing. Like maybe so prison rape is a scary idea. Prison rape is an example of humiliation on top of the loss of privacy and freedom. So as you might imagine, well, you did a crime, so they lost their freedom. Okay. Half of them probably tell you, yeah, fair enough. They don't like it, but fair enough. Maybe there's a better way, but if that's how it is, that's how it is. But the loss of privacy part is a bit much, because they are grown men, and they need to do a release valve thing that men are accustomed to once a week or so, okay? And when they're sharing a cell with another man, they don't get to do that in private. They might have to roll over and huddle over into the corner and hide under the blankets or something. Okay, it's a dude thing that maybe the women don't understand, but it is a men's thing. And it's not to say that men are hypersexual or whatever, or that they can't control it. It's more the point that that hormonal cycle that a man goes through, and the context that he's in, which is a testosterone charged environment, lots of blokes in the prison, is a bit difficult to let go of the extra boost that testosterone's giving him. And so for men, he's a bit, tense in that environment. So, but he's got no privacy. He's got no freedom and he's got no privacy, so we can't release. And because there's also pecking orders and clubs, okay, and games that get played, sometimes there's what you might call the prison rape phenomenon, where a way that some men, not all men in the prison system, show their dominances by humiliating someone else, and occasionally that's the means by which they do it. Sort of like a domination behaviour. And the men that sometimes experience the prison rape aren't actually rapists at all. Sometimes they're men who stole a car, or they're men who are, held up a service station or something. So even a scary person, rather than a silly person, they were that type of scary person, And and I don't want to tell you about it. They'll come out of prison, I don't want to tell you about it. No, they won't, not usually. You can figure it out from the other things that they say and do, but they won't tell you about it, because if they were the guy that was copping that, and all they were in there for was robbery or something like that, then the first thing people got to assume is that they were there because, again, they were copping that because that's the punishment that sex offenders get, which isn't true. Sometimes they do bad things to sex offenders, like the other prisoners, okay? But sometimes those guys get put in solitary, and the people that are copping that are people who are there for armed robbery or something like that for real. And they've got some gang pecking order shit as well. Sometimes the people who caught that in prison are already rape survivors. So they're men who got raped when they were on the outside. You can just imagine for a second who there's an altar boy once who was angry, because a bad priest hurt his bum, and he become a man who go and join gang, right? And he do a crime, and he go to prison for it, but he no rape no one. Maybe he bust someone, steal a drug, steal a car maybe. Okay, yell at people a bit too much. He could wind up going to prison, and another prisoner could rape him because he bad-mouthed the wrong people. He tell them all off. He don't like any of you. He's standoffish as shit. His butt's hurting from the prior assault. So he's gonna, you fucking this, and you fucking that, and you fucking the other thing. Okay? And he's gonna do all that, and because he's accustomed to being standoffish to everyone as a consequence of the abuse he encountered, and those people are gonna establish pecking order on him quicker than you can say Jack fucking Rabbit, and he might cop that instead. He might get raped by, may have been raped by another prisoner as a consequence of that, and then he's not listening to any prison counsellor, he's not listening to any warden, nothing, because he just got done again in his bum when he never hurt anyone in the bum. There was guy who hates that stuff. Why can't he be standoffish to people? Why can't he tell them all to fuck off? If you're talking about survivors of clergy abuse in Australia in particular, okay, particularly in the Ballarat or Melbourne area, based on the statistics that the Royal Commission came up with, there could be a lot of men who've been through the Victorian prison system, and that's their story. There could have been men gone through the Victorian prison system, and that's their story. They're angry They don't want to listen to your counsellor. They don't want to listen to your warden. They don't want to listen because that whole community failed them. The Catholic Church failed them. The Victoria Police failed them. Why should they be in the prison copping up ass again? Because some dickhead fucking done that before and all they did was tell everyone to fuck off. You know, they couldn't get no job. They couldn't get no degrees or nothing like that because they were too crying too much. They got on a drink or a drug. They're angry. So to all those men out there who are like that, say thank you to Julia Gillard, please. Say thank you to Julia Gillard. She's done you a great favour with her Royal Commission. You got heard. Be grateful for that. The entire community is glad you got heard. And if you didn't personally get heard, well, I don't know. But we know Julia Gillard did try to hear. And some of those witnesses at Royal Commission were men like that. Thank you, Julia Gillard. Thank you, Julia Gillard. Okay? They can do a pack of misogynists in prison. Yes, some of them are. Don't go thinking anyone who was from Royal Commission variety like that would hate on her after that. Her and her team were the ones that heard them out. So they like her. They like her a lot. As you should too, Australia. Like bloody Tony Abbott. Say George Pell was a fucking saint after that. Bring every man to be to prison in Victoria to fucking shame. Who fucking have any of that anywhere near their fucking story. Bring them to fucking shame. George Pell was a fucking saint after he died. How'd you know those fellas feel about that? Yeah, as if he fucking were. Fucking the only good one that fucking story is Julia Gillard and the Justice team. Good work, lady. Nicely done. No one ever going to blame you about you ever again. If they do that, fucking hear it from fucking prison community. Well, at least that subsector of it. To make you wonder, does it? Does it make you cry a little bit? How many ex-cons will mistreat a woman who didn't mistreat an ex-con? Then do you know that would make those other ex-cons upset? Fucking rude pricks. Some of them fucking same pricks would be the ones you get bashed up. They call it boneyard. Bit of a technical word got heard recently called a boneyard. You don't want to know. Apparently that's a jargon from prisons. That means what they do to sex offenders. That's the spot where they go bash them. The boneyard. You gotta be Bones' body in there when they're done with him. The type of character that done that was like that. There you go, fucking harass people. He'd be nice to the fucking ex-cons. The ex-cons everywhere to fucking them. Because he's a dumb fucking prick. Don't go thinking the dust will remove. You can trust the ex-cons. You can't. They don't want you to. They don't trust each other. Before someone goes to a place like that, trust is probably gone. And if worthy, it ain't there by the time they've left. Not everything's terrible in prisons. But it sure shit ain't fucking sunshine, roses, lollipops, and fucking rainbows every day. It's fucking shit house. Some say it's meant to be. It's their punishment. But do you really think that part's fair? Well, of course it's not. Eh? Okay? We don't know what they're going to do about that one. We don't know if there's anything there come. But, you know, just know this. Not every ex-con hates you. They are, however, a little bit mixed up after the experience. That part you can be assured of. If you met a couple of them, you'd know. Not the people on the outside spoil. They didn't do it. The displacement rage thing that led to their crimes become the narcissistic social dynamics in the can as well. Well, that's their normal thing. They go outside, what do you think they fucking learn? They're not teaching people how to not have the imperial fucking superiority and inferiority complex fucking fuck you predator prey mentality by having a whack you over the head with a bat in fucking zoo. Are they? Get real? That's not the environment you're going to learn that in, is it? We're going to be less imperial, going to be less, you know, hierarchical, less pecking order, less competitive, less authoritarian, less fascist. Oh, well, there's a gang of neo-Nazis fucking in there along with a bunch of prison wardens with batons. Well, that isn't going to teach you how to be less fascist. Probably not, is it? Some people learn to hide and sail through by avoiding everyone else. But, you know, the story is what it is. And take from it what you like. Just don't hurt each other. Because there are people in those places who are wondering why the ones that hurt them went in there instead. And so they think it's unfair. Once they've committed a crime, maybe both should go. Not any, you know. Don't worry about it.